Hey guys, it's Antonio, and thank you for watching another video on our channel for Washington Church of Christ. I'm so glad that you have continued to follow our channel, and I hope that this evening's devotional could be encouraging to you. I think it was the last devotional, which I'm sorry to, it says it's been about a week ago and I haven't posted anything since then, but the last devotional we talked about was with the movie Rudy. Tonight, I like to reference another one of my favorite movies. It's not a sports movie at all. You might have actually heard of it before, or maybe you haven't. It's called A Beautiful Mind. And I believe the main actor is Russell Crowe. But basically, A Beautiful Mind focuses on this Princeton professor who has schizophrenia. And throughout the movie, you see his interactions. He actually gets married and has a wife. But you see the way he struggles with dealing with schizophrenia while also being an incredibly intelligent mathematician who is capable of so many things in the math world and figures out different problems. However, his schizophrenia begins to manipulate his talents and his skills, and he starts to put himself in danger without even realizing it. And by doing that, he's also then putting his family in danger. Well, basically, as it went on in the movie, he started seeing a therapist. They started giving him medicine. And the medicine, he hated it because it basically dulled his senses. He just couldn't be himself. But when he didn't take the medicine, he could be himself, but it was a more dangerous version of himself. In the end, though, towards the end of the movie, you see as it progresses, a couple of years into his life, his son, which was a baby at one point in the movie, is now, middle school age maybe. But he has control of the schizophrenia. The schizophrenia is not gone, but he has control of it. He doesn't allow it to bother him anymore. And one of the characters in the movie asks one of his old classmates, who's actually one of the heads of the department, he said, "Do you still see those people? Are they still there or are they gone?" And Dr. Nash, who is the professor we're speaking about, tells him they're still there. I just don't pay any attention to them. I just avoid them. I just ignore them. And as every day that he's done that, it's gotten easier and easier to the point where these figments of his imagination don't even speak to him anymore. Now you're probably wondering, why am I talking about a guy who struggles with schizophrenia, and what does it have to do with us, especially in a spiritual context? And what I want to focus on is the aspect that Dr. Nash did not feed the mental illness that he had. Because that's what schizophrenia is. It's a mental illness. But he found a way to fight the mental illness, and that was by starving it, by starving the attention and the mind and the body that it wanted, and by not giving it. So what does that mean for us? Well, as Christians, we all struggle with something. We all have a particular sin or temptation that is, proverbial, or not proverbial, but I guess a figurative Achilles heel for all of us. For some people, it might be language, anger, lying, cursing, idolatry, sexual immorality, and its various degrees that we as men and women put on it. But it could be anything. The Bible talks about several things. And so we all struggle with different stuff. And I want us to learn from this movie that I really enjoy watching, is that you have to starve and work on avoiding those sins and work on avoiding those temptations. Jesus speaks about a proverb of a man who was filled with a demon, and he cast the demon out. This man was able to get rid of the demon. However, it says when the demon came back, it saw that the man's heart, kind of like a house, was clean, was swept, and was empty. And so he went and grabbed 7 of his buddies and came back, and now the man had even more demons than he had initially. And the principle there for us is that when we get rid of something in our lives, something horrible in our lives, a sin, a temptation, we can't just leave that void empty. We need to fill it. We need to fill it with something productive, fill it with something godly. And so in this same thought, in this same process, when we, when Dr. Nash was struggling, he filled his desire to feed that schizophrenia, to feed that mental illness, he filled it with more productive things. He filled it by staying in touch with reality, by spending time with his family, with the people he knew were real, with the people he knew were tangible. And so for us as Christians, or if you're not yet a Christian, for you to be working on your spiritual life, we need to get the sin out of our life, and we need to fill it with something. I'd like to read a passage from James chapter 1. It's a very familiar passage, but beginning in verse 12. James chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, and he himself tempts no one. But each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then desire, when it is conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death. So I want to encourage you guys for the rest of this week to work on not feeding the sin. Whatever the sin is, do not feed it, fight it, starve it, but not just ignore it. Work to fill that space with something else. And, now I want to give you a couple ideas that you can actually fill that space with. Several things that you can do that is much more productive with your time, with whatever it is. Learning a new instrument, learning a new language, writing, talking to friends, finding a hobby that you enjoy. It could be photography, hiking, playing sports, whatever it is. Spending time with family, calling that friend that you've been meaning to call probably for years and you've never gotten around to it, giving them a call to see how they're doing, writing people letters. If you're able to, without it cutting into your life, maybe spending a little bit more time at work, getting some more work done, being more productive with your time. There are several things that you can do, and there's even more than just what I mentioned. But find something to fill that time that is filled with sin right now, and fill it with holiness, and fill it with godliness. So I want to encourage you guys. I hope you can do this. I know it's something that I know I personally have to continue working on day after day and just keep getting better and better. You're not going to wake up one morning and be 100% healthy, 100% holy, but it's a process, and I hope that you can get better. And let me know in the comments how you're doing on your journey, how you're getting better, and leave any questions if you have about something. I check our page a couple times a week so I can get back to you in a pretty timely manner. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our page. And if you're not a YouTube follower, but you just like following our videos, but you are on Twitter, we do have a Twitter page, and I can include a link to that in the description. But thank you guys. Share this video. You don't have to subscribe or anything, but please, please share this video, guys. Get God's word out there, because it's the most important thing in this world. All right. Have a great evening, guys. And this is on Halloween, so be safe if you're out trick-or-treating, and have fun. And I love Baby Ruths and Hershey's and Skittles, and I'm not super picky, so feel free to share. Hope you guys have a great night.